Hey, good morning. Hey, howdy to you. I'm James Adams with ABR Electric, and today we're talking about breakers. Don't go away yet. We're talking about the unknown intimate secrets of circuit breakers, and there are many. Stay tuned. So, a lot of times, I've been working with breakers. It's part of our, the thing with electricians, for decades. And so a lot of times my newer guys, and this was sparked by a conversation during an apprenticeship I was teaching, and they say, well, why do you do these certain things with breakers? Because it seems strange to them. Well, I'm going to share with you. One is with circuit breakers, they're mass produced, right? So bear with me. If you're installing a breaker, or you're just picking one up, you see this little handle? Flip it back and forth. If it's crunchy, that's right, I said crunchy, or if it's floppy, it doesn't sit well, don't use it, throw it away. Okay, here's the other thing. If you have a breaker out, you're looking at it, watch this. This has taken decades to master. Smell it. No, I'm not pranking you, really. So a lot of times if a breaker's been used to return this damaged, the internal parts, the contacts have overheated, and you'll have plastic that's melted, and it keeps that smell for a long, long time, okay? Another secret with breakers, and people see this, we're talking, let's say this is Hal, let's say he's energized. He's not, he's sleeping right now, but if you run your hands over the breakers and you just have a section that's super hot, so sometimes, like here in Texas, the panels are on the outside wall. They're going to be warm anyways. It's 100 billion degrees outside. Other side of the same wall is going to be warm. But I'm talking where you have a set of breakers that's noticeably warmer than their neighbors. Okay? So even if that breaker is working, a lot of times what that means is there's a connection behind that. And we pull one of these breakers, same brand. You have a connection inside that's either hot here or where it's clipped onto the busing is burning. Okay? And so again, one of the secrets is if you have one of these breakers that's significantly hotter than the other. Another way to do this that's not nearly as fun or tactile is to take an infrared gun, which are super cheap. Again, after the pandemic, they're all over the place. And just run it down your panel. And you're looking for something that's a good 15 to 20 degrees hotter than its neighbors, okay? So even if that breaker hasn't failed at that point, if it's that hot for a long period of time, it's going to be a problem. So we talked about, this is a good one. The crunch, talked about the smell. We talked about the temperature, okay? So the last thing I want to show with you, and this is a bonus, and that is inside of a breaker. So for most of us, folks who are homeowners, you see a panel occasionally, you open it because something's, you ran too many coffee pots, whatever. Tripped, you reset it. But have you ever seen the inside of a breaker? Do you want to? Of course you do. All right. This is something we took apart during an apprenticeship class. There's some pieces here. So this is a Siemens, here we go, here's the top of the breaker. This is a Siemens arc fault breaker, okay? And a lot of you living in houses that are 10 years old or less will have a bunch of these in your panel, whether it's a Siemens with a blue button or a Cutler hammer with a white, or rather a QO. Here's why this is important to know too. If we talk about the crunch and the smell, these deserve their own video, but what's different about this breaker as an arc fault versus all your other breakers that are standard is the arc fault obviously has this big, really cool circuit board. So the bottom line is a circuit board is super sensitive. So if you have lightning storms, a bunch, or power surges and spikes from construction or the grid going down and coming back on, these will get damaged. We had one manufacturer recently, Cutler hammer, the CH style, that had a whole lot, tens of thousands of breakers of this style, that the circuit boards were just bad, okay? So if you have one of these breakers that's tripping, one of the options, probably lesser, one of the options is that simply the board is just tore up, okay? Here in Texas, that's the thing. Of course, you still need to check your wiring for safety to make sure that there's not a real condition that's making the arc fault breaker do its job. But there you go for today. That's it. If you're feeling spunky, you can find a breaker and tear it apart, but the mechanics of the average circuit breaker, not that big a deal, okay? So don't be afraid. If you're not sure about something, check the crunch, check the smell, check the temperature, and take care of your arc fault breakers. They're sensitive. Have a great day.